Hi, I filed bankruptcy 5.5 years ago, and I'm back in debt.
It's amazing how many trips you can take and how many places you can see when you use a credit card irresponsibly.
$178,745.
Okay, so today we're going back to a staple on this channel, some really bad credit card debt, with the total debt in the US reaching 1.31 trillion, along with delinquencies rising. It's not really a surprise that there is so much content like this online. We have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with this example.
So I have calculated all of our debt because that's something that I want to tackle and get it down as low as possible. I didn't realize how far in debt we were. I don't even want to say this number. We are, not including our mortgage, everything but our mortgage. Student loans, car payments, credit cards, home equity, $178,745. Why? Why did we do that? Minimum payments calculated together are $3,562.72.
Minimum payments, $3,500. And like she said, they didn't include the mortgage. Some people's numbers get wildly inflated when you add on a $400,000 house, but that is not what happened here. And I mean, it's getting so bad that one of the recent trending sounds people have been using to show all the debt that they're in, and I probably could have made a video using all of these clips by themselves. That's how many there are. Debt I've accumulated in the ripe age of 28 years old. Just a ton of different balances, in total around $26,000. This one is at the age of 22 and we're talking 27,000. I mean, this one just starts running through balance after balance. In total, a little bit over $65,000 worth of debt. This clip is pretty insane. In total, a little bit over $750,000. However, the mortgage is $472,000. Even though it is debt at the end of the day, I would say it's on a different playing field compared to the almost $20,000 worth of credit card debt and over $250,000 with student loans. Here's another one, only 23 years old, about $90,000 in the hole, another 23-year-old in $32,000, and 26 looking at about $43,000. But we have some comments from this post: $23,000 for a Chrysler Pacifica. Ma'am, you need a legal guardian with these decisions you've made. The next one's just a photo of Caleb Hammer, 23 grand on a Chrysler Pacifica again. So what I'm gathering is Discover has us all in a chokehold. Discover is so diabolical with their credit limits, and I definitely understand that they try to make you spend as much as humanly possible, but at the end of the day, it is still your choice. And unfortunately, there are so many people in bad situations like this.
How much debt do you have?
A lot.
Can you give us a number, a ballpark?
Probably like 90.
90,000 total.
Total.
Break it down. What kind of debt do you have?
Student loans, and then a car. That's technically a debt.
Yeah, how much left on the car loan?
Well, I just bought a Mercedes, so,
Woo!
so it's a lot.
How much debt do you currently have total?
Probably like 80,000 in student loans.
All student loans?
Yeah.
No car payment, no credit card debt, none of that?
No, that's my parents.
How about you? How much debt do you have?
I feel like maybe like 40,000. I don't know.
You just feel like is there, you're just like, I'm vibing.
Whatever I have from school is it. But I'm in grad school right now, so it's like a lot more now.
Are you adding to it currently?
Yeah.
But everything is student loans. No car payment, no credit card, nothing else.
Well, I lease my car, so I don't know how that works.
Oh, that's debt. They'll tell you.
I feel like it's fine.
What's the payment on the lease?
Like 500 a month.
This is a nice car. What is this car?
The Bronco.
Oh my goodness, the Bronco. How long do you think it'll take to pay off 80 grand in student loans?
A while.
That was honestly pretty tough to watch. But thank God the first woman got a Mercedes. Oh, look at me. The Broncos are kind of in the same category, even though it's not a luxury vehicle. People love them, so $500 a month lease. She didn't really know how that worked out though. And how long is it going to take to pay down the debts? A while. Some of the comments, I feel like it's fine. Financial ignorance isn't cute. But keeping on pace with the car debt, I found another clip having a car payment because I deserve a car with no miles, red interior, Apple CarPlay, and ventilated seats, which we've seen this trend before. However, if we take a look a little bit further, Beach City Toyota, you deserve it. Hashtag Toyota dealership TikTok, and Sequoia. So these are car salesmen trying to convince you that you deserve it. You should get the new Sequoia TRD Pro from our dealership too. And if you don't know anything about that model, they're sitting at around $85,000. I deserve is a statement broke people make. Dealership propaganda making you think it's okay to have $1,000 car payment. I'd probably venture to guess guess with this vehicle, probably $1,200 to $1,400, not including insurance. You deserve that 18% APR too. Funny enough, that was a very good transition to the next screenshot. You think you could hurt my feelings? I have an APR of 18% and still have $22,000 to pay on a car I don't even want anymore. So maybe you did get influenced to buy that $85,000 Sequoia in the last clip, and within a year, maybe even a few months, it's not nearly as cool anymore. I don't even want it. You didn't have great credit, and that 18% interest rate would be brutal. Putting myself in timeout for being $160,000 in debt by 23 and buying a brand new car. It's just one after another, video after video. Just even more images of Caleb Hammer and Dave Ramsey looking annoyed. They're going to have guests and call-ins for their show till the end of time. I'm $106,000 in debt and I went shopping. Here's what I bought. Then it's just slide after slide of joggers. Here's a pair of leggings. The very basic Ugg boot that we all know is $220. Did not know it was that expensive. Another pair of sweatpants, jeans for $50. Pink Birkenstocks that are another $155. Total spent $604. Feeling so much guilt. Really? If you were that guilty about it, why would you post this online for everybody to see? Kind of just looks like you want to be a part of the hauls and overconsumption TikTok while also being in 6 figures worth of debt. Another comment from one of you guys, Tinder should put a consumer debt filter on. I know the dating scene overall right now is not in good shape, but if there was any way you could find out people's debts before you started talking, I feel like there'd be even less people in the dating market than there already is.
So I have a little bit of credit card debt, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I moved to Nashville, Tennessee with not really that much money, and then I decided to fully furnish my bedroom. But I will say something I've learned over the past couple of months is that a lot of my friends also do too. And it's very comforting in a way. Like, not that I'm proud of my friends for having credit card debt, but I'm just like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. Because at the end of the day, we're all just in our 20s trying to figure out how the fuck to live in a freaking universe where rent is like $1,500. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And then our parents are like, why are you in so much credit card debt? I'm sorry that rent isn't $400 like it was when you were 25.
Well, okay, I would say $1,500 a month is probably normal price to maybe on the low end now. I see a lot more people complaining about their rent when it's $2,000 to $3,000 now. And of course, it would be way cheaper a decade or two ago. But you admitting that you moved to another city with basically no money and then immediately spending money to furnish those rooms, was there no plan beforehand? And then kind of explaining it away, saying that everybody has it, it's okay. And that's what the comment section says. Everybody has credit card debt, so many just act like they don't. I just pretend it's not there. As long as I pay some, my credit stays the same. I'm not worried. That's exactly how it snowballs, and that interest destroys you. Your credit card debt is because you furnished your bedroom? I would say that's a part of it, but probably not the whole picture. A couple comments from you guys talking about one of the older credit card debt videos. The amount of people that just openly admit they're scumbags is incredible. The lady talking about how she hid $55,000 worth of debt from her husband, whether it is for followers or the real deal, is just disgusting. Another one, hiding debt from your spouse or significant other is so insidious. If I was that lady's husband, I would have been filing for divorce the same day. No way I'm living with that level of distrust. So that's exactly what we saw, somebody making a TikTok informing the entire world of her debt and not her own husband. Sounds like a quick way to get a divorce to me, but this is way more common than you think, let alone how bad of a decision it is to take on a whole bunch of credit card debt, but then not telling your significant other. I mean, I can't even understand the thought process.
You know, she has multiple credit cards, and I can't see anything that happens on those. So with that stuff, I don't know what she spends on that.
Wait, how? No. We're not having a household financial conversation if there's like documents that he can't see.
Well,
What?
I don't see his credit card statements either.
What? So we're not having a household. What the fuck are we doing? So we're not having a household financial conversation. We don't know what's actually happening. That is so different. So you only look at the joint account? That means nothing. That tells you a third of the picture. How can we possibly know what's actually happening if we don't know what the fuck is actually happening? This doesn't make any sense. If we can't see 2/3, how the fuck are we guessing what the full pie is?
He doesn't
No
spend
wonder.
on his credit cards though.
So it's just you.
Yeah.
Then no wonder we don't know how much is being spent.
I don't even understand being in a relationship with somebody if you're not on the same financial page. You're almost guaranteed to crash and burn in the future. Another comment from you guys, the scary part about Klarna is the accessibility. You can use it for everything, instead of the original reason of splitting up giant purchases. I still remember there was a screenshot of somebody using Klarna for a Costco hot dog, and I believe it was like 37 or 38 cents for like 4 or 6 weeks, and then they were able to pay it off. I know in the end it was supposed to be a joke, but that comment is very true. You could use it for almost everything now. And that's a real quick way for people to spend more money than they actually have.
Guys, how much credit card debt are we in? Seriously, please tell me. And I'm talking consumer debt. I'm not talking like car payments. Well, maybe a car payment. Actually, no. I'm not talking student loans. I am talking credit card consumer debt. How much credit card debt are we in? How many credit cards do you have? Please tell me, because I'm supposed to be on a debt-free journey and I'm trying, but I can't stop shopping. I'm a shopaholic. We're talking about it in therapy. That's fine. But please tell me so I can feel a little bit better about myself.
$20,000, baby. $30,000. $47,000. These balance transfers got me bad. $10,000, $44,000, $18,000. I think you guys get the picture. There was a little bit over 12,000 comments just on this video alone. And I think I just ran through like, what, 6 of them? Now we'll go through a couple of the arguments that I see online when people talk about credit card debt. The biggest one by far is that the US government is in ungodly amounts of debt. So if they're not paying it back, why should I? And I understand the thought process, especially when we hit a new record.
I just want to begin today's video by congratulating the US government for reaching a new milestone. So the US federal government is now in debt by $37 trillion. Like, we did it, everyone. So this is the official stats according to the US Treasury's websites.
At this point, you could just start rattling off numbers. 37 trillion is such a large amount that we can't even really wrap our brains around it. So that turns into a lot of people saying, who cares? Nothing matters. Money isn't real. And while I don't think anybody defends the government for their ridiculous spending, normal people are not on an even playing field when it comes to that kind of money. The government could keep getting loans, keep printing money, just racking up that debt higher and higher, but you'll end up having your wages garnished, liens against your house, virtually everything taken away from you and going bankrupt way before the government will. So as unfair as it sounds, you still need to take your debt seriously. And speaking about going bankrupt, that's a lot of other people's arguments. I'll have a great time using Klarna, going on vacations, buying whatever I want, rack up a whole bunch of debt and go bankrupt. And yeah, it'll take a while for my credit to go back up, but everything will just magically be okay in the end without learning any better financial habits or spending habits. And then you turn into this example.
Hi, I filed bankruptcy 5.5 years ago, and I'm back in debt again. I have $95,000 worth of debt. I have the numbers here. $45,000 is cars. I have 2 cars, 2 Kias. $18,368,000 is loans, not student loans, personal loans. And then the rest is credit card debt. $31,604 in credit card debt between me and my husband. Yeah, we're in a crap ton of trouble. That's ridiculous. We did not learn our lesson the first time, and we've put ourselves in this situation again. So I'm here for accountability and to show me paying our debt off.
And now, because this is the second time of her getting into bad debt, most likely the interest rates are even worse than the first. The type of loans you're going to get for the 2 Kias when your credit score is tanked is going to be really rough. Same thing with the credit cards. So if she couldn't get herself out of the hole the first time, it's going to be way worse now with the $95,000 worth of debt. That's why I make these types of videos showing you the horror stories so you don't get into this type of trouble. We at least have a little bit of positivity in this video with a comment from you guys. My girlfriend had $30,000 in debt. She was just never taught how to manage money. She's down to $5,000 now. I'm really proud of her. So I get it. Everybody makes mistakes, especially if you're younger. A lot of people do regret going to college with their student loans right now. I've told you guys before, I basically set $20,000 on fire being a dropout. Even this next example showing basically the origin story of Caleb Hammer.
What was your financial problem? Just so I know, like, where did you start where you're like, oh, okay, I'm in a bad spot?
College was I was so dumb in college, man. Just starting to go into it. I was going into a major that wasn't going to make any money. I wanted to go into music. And of course, if you're going to go into music, you have to have like a $50,000 computer or whatever. It's some nice, beautiful iMac. So max out a credit card with that. Got to have an electric piano. You got to be cool. You know, you got to be like the other music majors. Max out a credit card with that. Why cook when you're tired from school? Go to McDonald's every day. And that's before I was even a fat. Like, you know, I was just able to consume those and still be skinny, but max out a credit card with that. Got to get around. So I maxed out. I got like a $11,000 car loan, but I couldn't afford the down payment. Of course, I didn't know anything about money, so I borrowed like $5,000 from the grandparents just to get a down payment on a car. It's the same stuff we're seeing on the show.
Some of the comments, I find even more value that he was in a similar situation to his guests. It's nice to hear this story too. I really admired him telling his own story. And I've said several times previously, that's one of the benefits, in my opinion, of social media. You could learn basically anything you want financially online, kind of as early as possible too, even when you're in high school. I wish I took my finances more seriously when I was around 16, 17, so I could have been in a better place if I did know about this type of content. And when you legitimately start turning things around, that's when you see all the little tricks and tactics these credit card companies do to hopefully keep you spending and racking up that debt.
So I called to cancel a credit card today, and the guy was like, instead of canceling, Miss Marble, why don't we refund you some of your payments from like the past 2 months and then up it to 15,000, your limit? And I said, no, thank you. I just want to cancel. And he goes, how about this then? How about we up it to 15,000, give you these traveling perks and all these other things? And I was like, oh my God, I know this is his job to push, but like he is not hearing me. And so I said, no, thank you, don't want that. And he was like, how about this? And I said, you know, I really don't want this credit card. And I had a meeting with my spirit guides, and they agreed with me that I should get rid of this credit card too, and I don't really need it. And after I said that, he was like, no problem, Miss Marble, I will get this handled for you right away. And I was like, thank you so much. I will call myself the Village Crazy Lady. I will volunteer for that title.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good tactic to me. You start throwing out insane statements to people trying to sell you or keep you using the credit card, they're just going to want you off the phone, and then you finally get what you want. But we've seen similar situations, so what she was talking about, upping the credit card limit. I remember there was another user tracking their debt payoff journey, and as the balance was going down, they were getting more and more emails saying, we're increasing the credit limit for you to go on vacation. This and that, you could buy whatever you want, trying to entice you to basically relapse. And we could take a look at some of the comments. They would have gotten me with the refunded payments, I fear. That's exactly why they say it. Maybe they'll give you a few $100s, but they're going to make their money back in the end when you just keep swiping that card. Another problem that I've seen online is basically wolves in sheep's clothing like this.
There is literally no worse feeling than getting paid, paying your bills, and not having anything left over. Which then leaves you no other choice but to use credit cards, which causes more debt and more financial stress. Or makes your accounts go negative, which means the next time you get paid, you're even further behind. It's literally ridiculous. That was literally me and my husband 7 months ago. So I started digital affiliate marketing. I am now making almost 5 figures every single week.
If you watch my channel, you know exactly what I'm going to say, but this was a different approach. I'm just like everybody else in a whole bunch of credit card debt, paycheck to paycheck, barely surviving, until I magically found digital marketing, and I'm making so much money. And on top of it, trying to shill TikTok products to you all the time. But oh man, it was so easy. Go to the link in my description and you could be just like me. And this is the kind of stuff you see. Beginner's Guide to Start Making Money. Get started on your digital journey that cost $596 to start for this course. Membership payment plans here. Get started with the digital world, $65. One-on-one mentorship, $200. One-on-one coaching, $75. One-on-one coaching for TikTok, another $75. And then just a ton of affiliate links with glasses, Amazon storefront, really everything that we've seen before. So the way to get out of the rat race and a bunch of credit card debt is to just spend a ludicrous amount of money on my courses so I could get rich. You can't really make this stuff up. I've gone over so many different examples on this channel. But another issue that I don't see talked about that much when we're looking at making money online, maybe it is through the TikTok shop and all of that kind of crap, or just really any other niche that you could think of. Many people have side hustles now just to make a little bit extra money, and we have a very extreme example here of somebody who didn't know that they had to put aside their own taxes.
So your girl owed $45,000 in taxes. And it's so funny because we see all these creators on here telling y'all to get products and do all this other stuff, but nobody really talk about like their taxes and stuff. And I know that I'm out here saying it to y'all, but I know a lot of women went through the same exact thing and is going through the same exact thing, but they're just not going to put it out here because they want to act like they knew how to run a business and had it all together. And I'm pretty sure they didn't, because TikTok money is unexpected and was unprecedented for a lot of us, like the wave in general.
And it's starting to look like the wave is over for many people, some getting kicked out of the creator fund for no reason, or the ad rates are just absolutely awful. But that's a topic for a different video. But maybe you do find some success making money online, and you can start paying off your debts and not living paycheck to paycheck. But unfortunately, lifestyle creep is a huge issue for so many people. And when tax season comes along, you could possibly be $45,000 in debt to the IRS and be back in the same situation you were before.
How do y'all have no debt? I need to know. There are days like today where I just want to go on a rant about debt. I have $40,000 worth of debt, and that does not include my student loans or my mortgage, because those are things that they get paid when, well, the mortgage gets paid all the time. Obviously, student loans, whenever they come back on, okay, whatever, I'll have to pay that. But I am talking about daily living expenses debt. How do you not have debt? Maybe you guys do and you're just not telling everybody, and that's perfectly fine. Do whatever is best for you. I don't normally tell people, but I've been sharing my recipes, and I'm doing a series on share my recipes to help pay down my debt, because how else am I going to do it? It's going to be a continuous cycle. Like, I'm not spending money on like getting my nails done, going buy new clothes, new shoes, new bags. No, I'm getting diapers. I'm getting wipes. I'm getting formula. I'm getting groceries, things that are a necessity for us to quite literally stay alive.
If I can't afford it on my debit card, it's not going on my credit card. The creator responds, I need to live by this motto. No kids, parents paid for college, dink income, and don't overspend. Well, I don't really ever hear about parents paying for college anymore, especially with the price of tuition, but that's a situation that some people would kill for. Stop using that credit card, list everything you spend, and cut what's not needed. But what amazes me is that when you look at statistics by income, it doesn't matter if you're considered lower or upper class. Everybody has debt. Now, of course, I understand if people on the lower end had more debt because of how difficult it is to survive, but we could take a look at this example all the way up to almost $400,000 a year, and it doesn't matter. People have credit card debt all across the board.
Average credit card debt by income. This data was collected by the Federal Reserve as part of their survey of consumer finances, which was completed in 2023. To begin the list, at the lowest income percentile, a median annual salary of $20,540, 33.4% of these people have credit card debt with an average balance of $3,630. Moving on, median annual salary of $43,240, 46.4% of these people have credit card debt with an average balance of $3,840. Next, median annual salary of $70,260, 56.9% of these people, the highest in this list, have credit card debt with an average balance of $5,950. Next up, median annual salary in the six figures at $115,660. 54.4% of these people have credit card debt with an average balance of $7,440. Median annual salary of $189,160. 44.6% of these people still have credit card debt. I do not understand this. An average balance of $8,900. Finally, this is unbelievable. I have no idea why these people would still have credit card debt. But a median annual salary of $390,210, 25.4% of these people have credit card debt with an average balance of $11,000.
Okay, so this guy always cuts off his videos early. It's probably better for the watch time and the algorithm on TikTok, but the average credit card debt for $390,000 a year was still $11,210. Why would there be any debt at all at that point? It just shows again the lifestyle creep and how much people really enjoy spending. And we're gonna finish off this video with an interesting example that I saw that definitely rolls into the last clip.
So I want to know, how are all the, poor people, the people with limited means, the people that don't have like any extra, people living paycheck to paycheck, how are you guys having fun? I feel like I used to be so much more fun in my 20s and my 30s, but I also had a lot more money in my 20s and 30s. I truly thought that by the time I was in my 50s, I would have more money and have more fun, but it's actually gone the complete opposite way. For all of you in your 20s and 30s, just enjoy it now, because when you get to this stage of life, it's like,
Okay, so I got a couple things to say about that along with the comment section. Lifestyle creep has been a huge issue for Gen Xers, which is what she said she was. Bigger house, new cars, new iPhones every couple years, vacations they can't afford, then the kids get a nice car at 16, private sports lessons, etc. Because that's exactly what it sounded like she was doing. In her 20s and 30s, she had a whole bunch of money, bad spending and finance habits, and now she's older and doesn't have nearly as much money as she thought she would. I personally thought it was odd trying to relate to the poor people and finding out what people do for fun with no money, because if you looked at the last clip or the one that's up on screen right now, she was right in front of a jacuzzi talking about having no money, and then the reflection on her sunglasses shows that she's in front of an in-ground pool. So this really does start to look like an absurd amount of spending, buying things that you couldn't really afford, and now you're in a bad spot, because the more that I looked at her page, it really did not connect with the clip that we watched. An image of her just being on the water, hashtag boat life, a lot of different clips of her doing activities that don't look free, along with her showing her journey getting some cosmetic surgery. So I just thought that this was an interesting case showing what looks to be like much more spending than you probably should have done, and now you're a bit older and not as comfortable as you thought you'd be, but then trying to relate while people are legitimately struggling, sitting in the jacuzzi or in front of the in-ground pool, I just thought was wild. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.